hard picking. Now in COD M, cover is really vital. Having cover to play behind is really vital. One of the substantial mistakes that I see particularly novel players make is hard peeking. If you guys don't know what hard peeking is, it's fundamentally this. So if you are behind a box, instead of moderately peeking out in order to hit the opponent, you would peek out half a meter from the cover to attempt to hit the adversary. And then what I see a lot of people do is they'll miss that strike, the opponent turns around, starts hitting them, and now they're half a meter away from the cover and they get beamed before they can get back behind the cover, which if they didn't hard peek and they simply did a small peek, alternatively they could have immediately went right behind cover when the opponent turned around and they wouldn't have gotten hit. So if you are playing behind cover, don't leap out from the edge of the cover and start hitting your adversaries. Just stand there every time, stay near to the cover you're playing with and kind of simply jiggle peek that cover in and out. So it's really difficult for your adversaries to hit you, but you can hit your adversaries easily. Hey, what's poppin' guys? My name is Shivan Shekhar Sinha of Wannabe MVP. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about the top 5 mistakes that players make and how you can stop making them in your ranked games. These mistakes tend to make it way harder to hit legendary, so try to avoid them as much as possible. So there are 5 main mistakes that I see players make in ranked all the time that ends up getting them killed or makes them lose games, and it's why a lot of people can't rank up. So today I'm going to be going over those and I'm going to be telling you how to avoid them in order to start winning more ranked games and start winning more fights in your games. Now all 5 mistakes that I will be giving you guys inside of today's video will apply to both multiplayer and the Battle Royale, although I did make the video with Battle Royale in mind. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get into tip number 2. Number 2, holding and re-picking the same angle. Now in this scenario I established here, you're hiding behind a tree, you've got an opponent that's behind a waist high cover, let's say it's a hill, the particular scenario doesn't make any differences. With the lion's share of items in this list, you have to be capable of taking these skills in the foundational understanding and cross apply them to numerous different scenarios. So you need to get out of the tool. The mistake that nearly all players make is they continually repeat the same edge. So they go off to the right hand side, take a couple strikes, head back, possibly throw in an armor plate and then peek the exact same edge. What you need to be doing in these scenarios is throwing off your enemy's aim. When you re-peek the same edge and he's already aimed downside at the exact place, all they have to do is click the trigger. So at the very least, you need to give him a half, so kind of jiggle peek back and forth, have only your shoulder show or possibly take a couple strikes on the left, take a couple strikes on the right. But where you really begin to outplay your enemy is when you overcommit to an angle. So you have that half strike based on whether or not you're off to the left or you're off to the right. They might get lucky, but when they're holding those angles so closely on one edge of the tree and you full swing around the other edge, they're gonna have to track you. But you already have your momentum going in your favor. Preferably you can use this approach and swing around to another piece of cover, slowly either making yourself into hard cover yourself. Let's say you enter inside a building or working an angle towards an opponent where you can finish them off. Now this requires a bit of gun skill on your side to be capable of sprinting in one direction, snap over and aim at the enemy. But it's very easy to practice. You can practice against bots, you can practice against a tree or the side of a wall. It's a skill you need to learn to develop if you're gonna be serious COD M player. I provide 2 examples of this happening, and it happens greatly with snipers because they hold that edge so closely to where you would peek out. So I like to get their attention, bait out that edge, and then full send around the other edge. It's either gonna require an amazing flick, which I don't expect them to hit, or they're gonna miss, and I can fly them down with my AI. I trust my aim with my AI. Number 3 is having bad positioning. Now, unquestionably, map movement and positioning will be contingent on a lot of different elements, including what kind of role you are playing inside of the team, inside of the match, what kind of game mode you're playing, and simply overall what you're trying to achieve. But there are some fundamentals that I do want to give you guys so you can largely increase your knowledge of how to position properly. And one of those things is that you should attempt to play the edge of the map as much as possibly can. And that is because when you are on the edge of the map, one of the sides is a side that nobody can hit you from. Of course, because if you're on the edge of the map, nobody can be outside of the map. So say for example, I'm on standoff and the edge of the map is on my left side. Of course, no one will be over there. So that's going to be a place I really don't have to bother myself with. I don't have to worry about if there's adversaries there. I don't have to examine that. So in general, I'm in a superior position because I know precisely where adversaries could be approaching from, and that is going to be straight ahead of me or behind me, possibly my right, depending on whether or not like there's a wall there. But once again, basically you're restricting the number of angles that adversaries can hit you from. Essentially, when you're moving across the map, you also want to be aware of where players are spawning on the other team. You can do this by paying attention to where opponent players are hitting from. And if you see a lot of players in a certain side, more than likely that's where they're spawning. This will simply take playing a lot and learning where the maps are and where player spawns are. But if you are capable of learning this and master this, you're also going to be capable of learning exactly where you should be positioned. You should also incline towards head glitches. If you're wondering what a head glitch is, I'll display what it looks like, but basically it's when you use cover to block a lot of your body, but you're still capable of having a lot of clarity, so that when you see adversaries, you can basically see all of them, but they can only truly see your upper body or even merely your head. If you evolve the natural tendency to gravitate towards head glitches, basically you're gonna put yourself in a lot more advantageous scenarios to win gunfights, because opponent players will have a tough time hitting you and you can have a very easy time hitting opponent players. Once again, this is another thing that simply comes with playing the game a lot. You're gonna learn where all the good head glitches are and simply where you should be positioning on maps. Now, number 4 is not abusing high ground. Now another mistake that ties into the previous mistake I see players make is not abusing high ground. In any FPS game, especially Call of Duty Mobile, high ground is a big deal. Simply taking the high ground can be the distinction between victory or loss in that duel. Being on high ground gives you superior sight lines and overall superior position, and it makes it a lot straightforward for you to hit the opponent and a lot difficult for them to hit you. It also makes it a lot difficult for the opponent to get to you if they are not using a class like Ninja or Airborne. But even on a class like Ninja or Airborne, they still have to grapple or flap to you, during which you can hit them while they do that. So a good rule of thumb, if you don't know how to position, is before a fight, always try to simply take the high ground. If you're on high ground, usually that is at least a decent position, and it will help you win that fight. Number 5 is overextending. Overextending is a mistake that I see players make constantly. So overextending in any FPS game is biting off more than you can chew, by going out of position, by being too close to the opponent, and being away from your teammates, usually getting yourself eliminated. This can also be called overaggressing. Now, the cause this is such a big mistake is because it can easily get you eliminated in fights, and with the reason this can get you eliminated is because it puts you out of position away from your teammates, where your teammates can't assist you. So if the opponent sees that you overextended, particularly if it's a high level game, they'll detect that you overextended and they will push you straight away, recognizing you're out of position and your team can't assist you. So one thing you really need to be mindful of is to make sure to not overextend and to play with your team. Don't be a lone wolf in Call of Duty Mobile. It is always superior to play with your team than try to be a lone wolf and 1v4 squad. So don't overextend, always check yourself in your positioning, and you'll start being victorious in a lot more duels. Now, in order to stop overextending, you should always think about what you're gonna do before you make a decision. So if you do want to push a team, always think, is my team here to push with me? If not, make sure to make a remark, tell them, hey, I want to push this team, let's assemble. If you do this, most likely your team will be with you when you do play aggressively, and you won't be overextending by yourself. Oh my god, how many times have I said overextending? So just don't overextend, don't get yourself eliminated. Those were the 5 mistakes that I see players make all of the time. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, possibly share. No one shares videos, obviously. Subscribe. If you want to, you can always unsubscribe. Doesn't matter. But thanks for watching this far, and just to confuse everyone else in the comment section, just comment bread. Randomly comment bread. People will be like, why is everyone commenting bread? Yeah, that would be hilarious. Just do that. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.